Hi, I'm Maria Yagoda, and today I'm going to show you how to make potato and mushroom gratin. You can play around with it. You can use just white potatoes, or you can use sweet potatoes and experiment with a lot of other root vegetables. Start off with cutting the potatoes. You want to use 3 pounds. I've already cut up some here, and you want them to be about 1/8 of an inch thick. And I like to peel them just for like aesthetic purposes, but if you don't peel them, that's like extra fiber. Also, you always want to like cut off the rotten holes because people don't usually like to eat those. Be careful. A technique I like to use is to keep the top of the knife on the cutting board, so then you don't have to lift it up, and it just kind of goes faster and helps you get thinner slices. And the slices don't have to be perfect, you know. If they end up being a little misshapen, that's fine. You can call it rustic potato gratin and make it seem like it was intentional. So I'm just going to finish chopping these up. Right now I'm heating up about a tablespoon of butter. You can do 2 tablespoons if you want, or even like 4. It depends how much you like butter. And you want to make sure the pan is super hot before you put the mushrooms in, or else they'll get soggy, and you want them to retain their texture and their flavor. So just make sure that gets nice and melted. So here I just chopped up about 1 cup of mushrooms. Let's see, is this nice and hot? Okay, I'm going to add the mushrooms now. And let that cook for maybe about 5 or 6 minutes. Season with salt, with pepper. I got some coarse sea salt here, and that'll bring out the flavors. The traditional gratin usually will make a bechamel sauce, which is pretty time consuming. It involves like mixing flour, butter, and milk to make a roux, which thickens up and it makes a nice thick milk sauce. But I have a technique that's a little bit faster, and it involves bringing 1.5 cups of whole milk and 1.5 cups of heavy cream to a boil with the potatoes, which also means that your potatoes will be more tender and will crisp up easier in the oven. Okay, so I'm going to measure 1.5 cups of milk. And then I couldn't find heavy cream, so I'm using half and half. That'll be fine. Okay. Add my potatoes to the milk and cream. You want to season this or turn on the heat, medium-high. Then you want to season it with a little bit of salt, a little bit of nutmeg, which is just, you just want to put a little bit in, or else it'll taste like pumpkin pie. But nutmeg actually pairs really nice with cream sausage, just a little bit. You can kind of like judge how much you want in it, but about maybe 1/4 teaspoon. There we go. The milk is starting to heat up a bit. You can kind of see a few bubbles forming. What you want to do is you want to add a little bit of garlic in it. You can omit the garlic if you want, but I think it adds really nice flavor, and it gets really sweet as it cooks in the oven. Just add some garlic into that. Just want to grease it with butter, or else cleaning this will be a hot mess. So now you can hear it kind of sizzling, you can smell it, and you can see the bubbles. So it's time to start putting it into the gratin pan. And I'm going to do half in each. But you're going to start with about 1/4 of the potato mixture, because then you're going to put a layer of mushrooms on top of it. And you want to make sure it's spread nice and evenly so it cooks evenly. And note that I'm using a slotted spoon because you're going to pour the liquid over on top. So right now you just want the potatoes. Okay, so after you've covered them, each pan with about 1/4 of the potato mixture, you're going to want to take the mushrooms and just kind of sprinkle them on top. There'll be like an inner layer, because then the potatoes are going to go on top, and then the cheese and milk is going to go on top of that. It's going to be. You can use cremini, you can even splurge and use wild mushrooms like shiitake, or you can even reconstitute dried mushrooms if you so choose, because the important thing is that they're going to be covered in cheese, so it's going to taste good no matter what you use. And you can even omit the mushrooms if they're not your thing. But if they're not your thing, I don't like or understand you. Okay, now I'm just going to put the top layer of potatoes on with a slotted spoon. And you can use your fingers to make sure potatoes get nice and covered, or the mushrooms get nice and covered. So right now I'm just grating up some Swiss cheese to put on top. About 1 cup is good for half a cup for each dish, and just pour it over top. It's going to thicken up really nicely in the oven, even though it just kind of looks liquidy right now. I'm going to sprinkle the cheese on top, and you can do so very liberally. As I said, I'm using about half a cup for each pan, but you can double or even triple that if you want. I don't think anyone will mind. So I'm going to put them into the oven, which I preheated to 425 degrees. And I'm going to want to leave it in there for about 55 minutes, but you have to be the judge of that. Make sure it's nice and golden and crispy on top. It might take a little bit longer, it might take a little less, it depends on the oven. So I'm just going to put that in and wait. After 50 minutes, 55 minutes of cooking, and this is about when you want to take it out once the liquid has become into a creamy sauce. And it's nice and golden brown on the top. And there you have it, your potato and mushroom gratin.